ברוכים הבאים לפודקאסט של שפות-שלי, בית ספר לאנגלית בשפות נוספות. אני אריאל, יש לנו היום פרק מיוחד, נצטרך כאן עם אורחת מיוחדת לפודקאסט שלנו היום, קוראים לה נטע. Hi Neta, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm doing well, nice to have you on our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great, thanks for coming on. היום אנחנו בעצם נדבר על נושא מיוחד, על ג'מייקה, ואת you're a specialist, ומה שאפשר לקרוא לזה בטיולים לג'מייקה. אז תספרי לנו קצת, tell us a little bit about yourself, what do you do? I know you have today like a company or an organization that deals with traveling to Jamaica. זה אחד מהיעדים, באמת, אחד החלומות של להגיע לג'מייקה. טיילתי בקריבי, לא יצא לי להגיע לג'מייקה. I was in the Bahamas, St. Thomas and Martin. בוא נתחיל עם מה ההבדלים בין אי קריבי לג'מייקה.
So first of all, I'll start by saying that for Jamaica, it's part of the Caribbean, and there is a difference between each island, basically. But my specific connection to that island and the culture is very much the culture and the music itself. I was exposed to the music when I was about 15, and since then I was literally captured.
What kind of music? Bob Marley?
And dancehall as well. So there is a lot of genres that are not worldwide known. I mean, they are known in some countries, but yeah, Jamaica has a very unique music that's very creative, and we'll talk about it later. It's a big part of my life. And that's what brought me to Jamaica. When I was trying, I would listen in, trying to understand culture and the language, because it is a big difference. And during the years, it became a dream to live in Jamaica and also travel there.
Wow. That's beautiful. And look, when I think of Jamaica, first thing שמגיע, התשובה הראשונית כזאת זה Bob Marley. It's like Argentina is like Maradona Messi. So Bob Marley is a major icon. Do you feel it in Jamaica? Is it like...
Legend is basically, it's Bob Marley. No one can argue about in space and the world, but definitely there are a lot of new... if you can say music heroes, but he was also, the part about Bob Marley, he was also more than just a music. He brought a message that was different.
Okay.
He brought a message of peace and positivity and so forth. So it's a bit different right now in Jamaica because the main music story, it's not necessarily reggae.
Okay.
So reggae exists in Jamaica, but not that
mainstream,
present and mainstream as it used to be. So it's more of a dancehall. Dancehall is a bit of a mix between, I would say, it sounds to people like hip-hop mixed with reggae or a bit like reggaeton, if you know. Yeah. But it's a authentic style of Jamaica. It's not like a copy made of hip-hop or something like that. So.
Okay, וקוראים לזה dancehall.
Dancehall.
Yeah. Okay, so dancehall is unique to Jamaica?
Yes, it is. And the term itself, dancehall, came from an old tradition where they just literally used to take the mics and the microphone outside in the street and just play music. Play a rhythm, which is an instrument without no lyrics. And then people in Jamaica are very, very creative. So any second person that you would stop in the street is going to be an artist. And they can just, sing on any rhythm that's used. So that's basically what used to happen. They used to take out the mics, play a rhythm, and people used to just catch the mic. That's how you say it.
Okay.
And sing their lyrics and sing what they have to say about that rhythm or specific situation that's happening at the moment in front of our eyes. And the culture is very much influenced by dancehall. It's the main genre right now in Jamaica.
Okay.
And it's definitely a unique stream of music. It's a unique genre of music mainly because it talks about the reality of Jamaica. It talks about the voices of the youngsters, the people who live in the ghettos and the slums of Jamaica, and talks about problems.
Okay. And את בעצם יצרת איתנו קשר through Instagram. You listen to one of our podcasts. And you have a nice Instagram page, which I got to take a look at as well. יש לי נטע דף אינסטגרם מאוד מעניין, שבעצם מדבר על, it's called Why Jamaica, למה ג'מייקה. אני אישית, personally, when I think why Jamaica, I think of the people, I think of the food, I think of the beaches, I think of the city life. מה עיר הבירה? Just out of interest.
Kingston is the capital of Jamaica. It's the city where everything happens. It's kind of like Tel Aviv. Everything happens in Kingston. And if you want to be in the main business or everything, it's Kingston. There are a few more cities, but most of the other parts called country. That's how they, like, between those, they call it like the main cities and the country. But yeah. I will speak a bit about why Jamaica. So basically, when I moved to Jamaica, after knowing so much about the culture and exploring it just from a very a personal perspective, because I was really connected to the music and culture, as I said, why shouldn't I share my knowledge in Hebrew and in English to persons that are interested to travel?
Okay.
And that's where everything started. I started by giving, consultations and so forth. And then I created the website and also the social media platforms.
Okay. And how long did you spend? Give us a bit of a personal background, like, and how long, what was your first trip to Jamaica? How old were you? What was the experience? What happened? How did you get into it? Like, people travel, Israelis like to travel.
Yeah.
We see Israelis everywhere today, in every single country. And, in Jamaica is a unique place. How did you end up there? Like, you said because of the music, but give us a little personal story about how you ended up staying there.
Yeah.
A bit of personal background about you.
Sure. So 2015 was my first time that I went to Jamaica. I was planning to travel for a month, and then I overstayed for like a month or a bit more. So actually 2 months, and it was the best time of my life. I felt so connected. I felt literally like it was my home. Okay. And that was the main reason why in 2017 I decided to move to Jamaica as well. So for me, it was something that I couldn't really explain in words. It's like I always compare it to people that are a football fan and they go to every game of their team and so forth. So that's how I feel. I feel like this is my connection. Like this is what I feel. This is where I feel myself.
Wow, yeah, it's amazing. It's nice to find a place where you feel so connected. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. Yeah. Okay, and you actually met your husband in Jamaica?
Yes, I did. So I used to volunteer in a hostel for the reggae hostel. It actually doesn't exist anymore, but it was a great hostel. A lot of Israelis used to come over there as well. And I used to do reggae sessions over there where it was like a jam session. A lot of neo musicians used to come and either play their music or sing or whatever. And he was one of the main group of friends that actually came to support the home. I didn't know him. I knew all of his friends before, and that's how we got connected. And
amazing. That's how you guys met. Yeah. Okay. And you guys live now in Israel, right? And how was it for him as a Jamaican? He's Jamaican local, born in Jamaica? Born and raised. And how was it for him, like, to come to Israel? How was the acclimatization? How was the experience for him to come and be here? How long has he been here?
So we did visit one time for my sister's wedding. It was back in 2018. And then since then, with Corona and everything, basically he didn't get to visit. I did. But now we're here officially from last summer, like 2020. And it's been amazing for us. It was a start rough a little bit in the beginning because there is a difference. There is a lot of similarities between Israeli culture and Jamaican culture, but there is still a lot of differences. A lot of things that he's been missing, like specific food, and then like
what? Food is a big interest to a lot of people.
So food in Jamaica is a big thing as well, and they love their own food. Like, yes, they love foreign food, and they would go to like junk food restaurants like KFC, whatever, but they love their authentic food. And it doesn't exist here. There is, I think, maybe one restaurant that serves that type of Caribbean food, and it's not the whole spectrum of the region.
What is Caribbean food?
So they use a lot of ground provision. So it's called like they have things that we can use. אפשר לשמש כדוגמה, נניח כמו תפוח אדמה, okay? For them, תפוח אדמה, they would use yam. Okay. They would use dashi. These are like ground provisions and vegetables that's brought originally from Africa, which the Saints fucking use this. And yes, they are a big part of Jamaica. There is a fruit that's called aki. It's actually a delicious fruit. It's kind of like the vegan version of an egg. It literally is yellow, and you have to wait until it actually drops from the tree, because if you open it before, it actually poisons. So there is a lot of beautiful cultural stories around the food as well. I think one of the main and most famous one is jerk chicken. It was actually invented by the Maroons.
What is jerk chicken to some of our מאזינים שלנו that they don't know? What is it?
So jerk chicken is mainly
Dried.
kind of like small way to make your meat. You can either use chicken, pork, or whatever meat, or beef, and you can do it in a vegan side if you want to. But beef, pork and chicken is the main way. So jerk chicken would be the main thing that they would do. They would use seasoning like scallion and thyme and garlic and a lot of Scotch bonnet, which is the hottest pepper in the world. So nothing new about that. It's really spicy and it's in Jamaica. And they would do a mixture, a lot of other ingredients as well, and marinate the chicken and basically smoke it in a small grill, 1 kilo barrel scale, which I don't know.
A smoker, like a smoke barrel.
Like smoker, but manship, like, they create things out of nothing. That gives you about Jamaica and Jamaicans overall. So yeah, it's a very unique style, and it was originally created by the Maroons when they wanted to cook their beef or pork and chicken without the English knowing where they are, because the smoke comes out of the air, and then that's it. They can,
Yeah, of course. Look, I'm from South Africa.
Yeah.
And but in Africa we have something similar. It's called biltong. It's actually like dried beef, also pork. Could be different types of goats as well that they use, lamb. And the reason it was started there is basically because they used to caravan from place to place. And South Africa is a big, big country. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, they need to preserve the meat, the sow, and they would, let's say, hunt. And then you have a full animal and you want to preserve it somehow. So back in the day, so they would dry it and make it into jerky, type of a jerky like the Sami batch, and that could basically last 4 months. So they would have any food that you ready to eat. So I actually love jerky. I'm a big fan.
Actually, in Jamaica, it's a bit different because it's not really dried. You have to eat it at the moment.
Oh, it's something like
you can leave it and then eat it after. It's just kind of like grilling, a barbecue way, but a very traditional way. So you cover it with pimento wood, and you give it a specific flavor, and you kind of smoke it, but you don't dry it.
You're making me hungry now. Okay.
I will bring you one, George. So why not?
Yeah. You're making me hungry, and I love spicy food.
Yeah.
And I love meat, and I love jerky, chicken, the whole combination sounds delicious. Okay, what languages are spoken in Jamaica?
So English is the main language they actually speak in schools and so forth, but the spoken language is Patois. Patois is a mix between different languages, Spanish, English, French, all of those colors. Patois. Patios. It's called Patios, Patios.
Okay, Patios.
Yeah, that's the official name, but in the spoken language in Jamaica, you would call it Patois. And it's a mixture of those languages, which actually, the reason why that language was created is in order for the slaves back in those times to create a language between themselves in order to communicate without their masters to understand what are they talking about. It's a very rhythmical language. It's full. It's the most. To me, it's the coolest language ever. And it's like they can break the words and make it sound like it's literally you.
Make it sound cool. Yeah. Okay, and is it a second language, or if I'm a Jamaican native and you're a Jamaican native, we speak to each other in Patios?
Patois, yeah.
Patois? Or speak no English?
If you speak in English to a Jamaican in Patois, if you speak in English in Jamaica to another Jamaican, they would call it toi.
Okay.
So you're trying to sound American, you're trying to sound English, right? Yeah.
I understand.
There is a big pride in that language because basically, if I was playing song right now in Patois, you probably won't understand nothing. I will, because I'm listening to this language, and obviously my husband and everything, and I live there, so yeah, of course, but most people won't.
Do you come when you be Patois?
Yeah, of course. I can give a few examples just so people can understand. So, for example, instead of saying the word ask, they would say ask. I can ask you something.
Okay.
Yeah. Me, I am. Me can is can I ask you something? It's something.
So they're putting like a twist on the one. Yes, on the English, they're changing it.
Exactly. So everybody that say that they know English listens back when they're like, that doesn't sound like English at all.
Wow, that's super cool. Look, Jamaicans have a cool way of making everything seem cool. Yeah. And I'm sure the spoken language is definitely very, very cool. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do, how you help Israeli travelers, and what is your dream? Okay, let's say I'm speaking to Neta now, and the reason why I wanted to join us here is, for an Israeli, your English is great. Okay, so firstly, it's long run that up. It's pretty hard to get to your level. You're fully conversational, you understand pretty quickly, and it takes time and effort and living abroad and many factors. Number two is that Jamaica is very, very reputed destination. It's interesting. I was exposed to Jamaica on multiple levels by the culture, and also in South Africa there's a very famous sport, modern for such, cricket.
Yes.
I don't like cricket, I love it. So cricket's very popular in Jamaica. They have some major superstars like Yale Palmer, Brian Lara, welcome in cricket. So I'm sure your husband knows, is aware of them. So cricket is a big sport in South Africa as well, and there'll be a big, the matches will be great to see Jamaica play. They always play with a specific flair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not at all a sportsman, but I know sports, it's big in Asia, man.
Yeah, of course. And they got Usain Bolt, the runner as well, which is super famous. Another legend, yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you help. What is Why Jamaica? You call the organization Why Jamaica. Tell us a little bit about you, your organization. ואני בן עם ישראל היום, אני רוצה לנסוע לג'מייקה. למה כדאי לי ליצור קשר איתך? Find out about you. קודם כל, תמיד כדאי ליצור קשר איתך. בן אדם מדהים. זה היה ממש כיף, כאילו, להכיר אותך גם to host you on here. And you have a lot of knowledge, ידע, and information. I think you really live passionately Jamaica in a way which אני עדיין לא הכרתי בן אדם שבאמת חי את זה כל כך, וזה כיף לראות. אני עכשיו מת לנסוע ממש, אני מתרגש. next flight, אני יכולים לסיים את הפודקאסט, I'm getting a ticket we're going to Jamaica. אז next podcast we'll record from Kingston. So I like, you making me excited to go. Yeah. Okay, so why should I contact Neta about Jamaica? How can you help me?
So as I said, like Why Jamaica is basically a travel agency. I can help, and I do help a lot of Israelis that contact me about information generally about Jamaica. Where should I land, and how long should I travel, and what is the budget that I need, and stuff like that. But the main thing that I would say is that unfortunately there is not a lot of information in Hebrew about Jamaica. Especially on the web, you can find stuff, but it's not really relevant or relevant to what's happening right now in Jamaica. There are a lot of places that are new and opening, and Jamaica is really boosting with tourism and a lot of new projects and places. So there is always new stuff to see. People contact me usually either before their flights to plan their travel, and then we can station call, and then I can even build their own trip, and
itinerary.
Yes, exactly.
And the truth is, there's no information. Like local information,
yeah.
And you're basically a local because you've been there for a long time. And your husband is a local, and if there's any way to plan an itinerary, is definitely can feel an authentic feel. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you build that itinerary and you build a trip around. Mm-hmm. Give us a couple of tips of how it would go. You basically will make a consultation. I would contact you. אני אומר לך, נטע, אני רוצה לטוס עם אשתי או המשפחה שלו לבד או with friends לג'מייקה, and we'd make a consultation about the trip itself and what to do. Mm-hmm. And you help with the bookings of the actual hotels, you take care of everything. How does it work?
Yeah, so exactly. So basically, you would probably tell me what is the type of trip that you want, because, Jamaica can accommodate different types of travelers. For example, backpackers, they would look for the low-budget places in order to save, because they probably have a lot of other countries traveling in the future. Okay. Couples go to honeymoon, so you would recommend a specific hotel that is mainly only for couples. Families have their own different attractions that they need to go to. So I would try to customize it based on what you're looking for and based on the type of group or persons that are
age group as well, mate.
Exactly. And obviously the time frame, because Jamaica is an island, size-wise is about half of the size of Israel, population-wise, and also land itself. And when you travel in Jamaica, most people, the average, I would say, is between a week to 2 weeks. If you're a big fan of the culture, you would spend there months, yeah? But most people spend a week to 2 weeks, which is not a lot of time to see really all of Jamaica. So you have to be very specific when it comes to places that you're visiting. there are a lot of places that you would search online and they would say it's in Montego Bay. It's not in Montego Bay. They say it's in Montego Bay because other people don't know that there is other places in Jamaica. So what I'm trying to do when I'm consulting other persons is to give them a little bit of an idea of what it is really and understanding the map and what each parish, which is a region, there are 40 parishes in Jamaica, what each parish has to offer. And based on that, I can decide what would be the best destinations for them. You can also book through us transportation, hotels, whatever you need. And
do you have local connections there?
Yeah,
You have local people that you work with regarding travel, regarding transport.
car rentals, taxis, whatever accommodation that you're looking for. I also have my good friend and I. So basically, I run Why Jamaica until the past few months by myself. And then recently, one of my good friends, which is also an Israeli, German, American that lives in Jamaica, she joined me and she's the one doing the operations from there. And then I do the communication from here and we work together with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say when I think of, if someone wants to come to Israel, okay, and ask me, okay, what are the main spots you got to see? So obviously you would tell them, you got to go experience Tel Aviv, the nightlife, the lifestyle, Jerusalem to obviously see what everything's related to religion, just to see history, and probably like Melach, Eilat, the usual. What would be like my top 3 things like that I have to see, every traveler has to see? Is it like any place or is it broad?
So no, it's broad, but I will try to put it into places. So Portland is the most beautiful virgin nature parish that you can find in Jamaica. It's one of the parishes that I love to recommend persons.
What is a parish?
Parish is like a region. זה כמו מחוז, בעצם כמו מועצה אזורית. That's the example that I can give in Israel. But basically, Jamaica is split into 14 parishes.
Okay.
And then each parish obviously has their own capital. And basically, they don't govern only themselves, but they have their own מועצה אזורית. So they have their government inside it. So Portland has beautiful nature sites. For example, the Blue Lagoon, and a lot of the...
What is the Blue Lagoon? Give me a breakdown. I want you to paint me a picture.
So Blue Lagoon is...
זה לנו סיפור, כי אני מזין לך כרגע, וישנו עוד ככה הרבה אנשים שמזינים לך, אנחנו רוצים תמונה. מה אני רואה? אני רואה חול לבן, אני רואה ים כחול, מה אני רואה?
So you would see a beautiful lagoon, which is basically מאגר מים ענקי, זאת אומרת מעיין, סוג של מעיין כזה. It's very, very deep. I don't remember how much, but it's so deep that you can literally see a dark spot in the middle.
Okay.
It's not really recommended to swim in that dark spot, but you can swim from
that hole.
It's very, very deep. Around it, there are villas that owned by Beyonce, Rihanna, a lot of celebrities. So you can just imagine now a place where they would want to be. That's where you want to be as well. Most of the attraction that's happening right there is actually rafting. So you have bamboo rafting, like beautiful rafts made out of bamboo.
Okay.
And they will take you couples or שלישיות, זאת אומרת, איך שלא מסתדרים, they will take you to tour around and sail around the Blue Lagoon. It's beautiful. And I must say now that there is right now a protest that's being held in Jamaica because of some argument around that area that they're trying to build around this area and make it less tourist accessible. So there is a lot of things that's going on, but yeah, it's a beautiful place, and I hope that it would stay like that for a good amount of years now. But yeah, it is. It's one of those places that you can't miss when you come to Jamaica.
Is it warm? Is the water warm?
The water are warm. Obviously, Jamaica most of the time it's tropical weather, so it is hot most of the time. The thing about Portland, it's Caribbean type of weather, tropical weather, so it can rain, but the rain doesn't harm. Yeah, and it doesn't harm the experience because it's rain. It's just pulling you off from the heat, and then you jump in the water.
It enhances the experience.
Exactly. And another place that I recommend when I first traveled.
Wait. I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
About Portland. I'm still stuck in my head on the Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon sounds very appealing.
Yeah.
Is it like lush tropical?
Yes, lush, tropical, המון ירוק מסביב, פשוט זה מקומות שגיינו שם להסתלל לקטלוגים וכאלו. It's like if you would imagine, those Windows pictures when you have כזה, כאילו פה מחשב שיש לך, כאלו. Maybe it's hard for me to describe it in the best way. I'm doing hard to the place, but basically it's a beautiful place, and it's a beautiful place, and it's one of those places in Portland. But there are a lot of places that are less known in Portland that are beautiful even more or the same way. But overall, when you're thinking about Jamaica, it's just lush, green everywhere, palm trees. Jamaica the name of Jamaica is Jamaica. It was like the Spanish name that the Spanish gave it. Jamaica means the land of wood and water. So it just tells you in 2 words, that's what it is. Jamaica is the land of wood and water. You would see green all over. You would see waterfalls, different type of, either, you have the sea, but you have lagoons like the Blue Lagoon. Yeah, so it's
beautiful. Okay. So give us maybe 1 or 2 more destinations over. So Portland, Blue Lagoon, I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm the lost. Okay. One of my personal favorite is Kingston. So that's where everything happens. And if you really want to experience the culture of Jamaica, the current culture of Jamaica, you have to go to Kingston. You have to spend at least 1 night in a party over there, because parties in Jamaica, the nightlife of Jamaica is something that doesn't exist nowhere else. You start a party at 11, it ends at 3. There is another party. Everybody goes to that party. It starts it's 2 hours, and then everybody goes to the next party, and they celebrate until 9 in the morning. And I'm not joking. So nightlife in Jamaica is full with entertainment and dancing, happiness, obviously alcohol, just having fun and celebrating life.
Okay, now we're touching on the nightlife. Let's talk a little bit about, a lot of things associated with partying. Yeah. Jamaica's cannabis use.
Yeah.
Is it something which is legal there?
So weed in Jamaica is decriminalized. It means that you're allowed to go with, if I'm not mistaken, 2 grams. That's the maximum you can. But I would say that there is a lot of weed dispensaries in Jamaica where you can buy weed in more conventional way. A lot of persons would also sell it in the street. Both of them is accepted.
Can a tourist go to a weed dispensary?
But what I won't recommend, which is a lot of tourists do, and I don't know, well, anyway, what I won't recommend is to stand in front of an officer and smoke a split, which is, it's a little bit, don't be too rude. Don't try to stretch the limits. Yeah, you still have to give respect to the fact that it's not fully legal over there, exactly. So you have to, be cautious. You can smoke in public places. It's not like here. You can smoke in public places and you can do whatever you feel like, but don't just push it to the limit.
Okay. Yeah. And would you need to go to the weed dispensaries? Are they accessible to tourists?
Yes, they are. And very important thing that they will ask you about, like they would ask for your ID. They would ask they will do like a doctor's check on the phone and stuff like that. Because basically, in order to purchase weed in a weed dispensary there, you have to do like a whole process of maybe 10 minutes where actually a doctor is talking to you and asking you about your medical condition, making sure that it's good for you and it's okay for you.
But do you need a license?
No, you don't need a license, but you will be asked questions. It's not going to be just buy it and that's it,
So that must be good for tourism, I'm saying. That must be one of the spots that if it's freely accessible. Like Amsterdam, Thailand now, it's maybe legal.
It's very good for tourists, but it is. I always recommend to buy it from locals. To my opinion, a lot of the weed that is being sold in those dispensaries it's grown in Jamaica, but I don't see necessarily how Jamaicans are profiting out of it. Okay. So my main reason when I started Why Jamaica was also to support local businesses. Okay. Tourism is a big business in Jamaica, and unfortunately,
is it the biggest?
Yeah, it's the main industry. That's why it was hurt. Like during the COVID, Jamaica got hit very, very bad. They're still recovering there. And I always recommend when you're in Jamaica or wherever you are in the world, try to support the locals, because those big hotels and those other corporate businesses and whatever, they're gonna make their money in a way. But the locals, they are the one that you really want to meet as well. Like when you're buying. Whatever you buy, if it is a jerk chicken from a local dealer or whatever, you get to have that conversation with someone that is actually a Jamaican. It's a different type of experience than going and getting your jerk chicken when you're in all-inclusive. So,
of course. Okay. What is the what is the racial background in Jamaica? Is it split? Like, how does it work? What is the let's say population made up of?
So there is a lot of obviously African natives that were brought back in those days as slaves. There is also a big population of Indians. As you said, cricket is a big thing in Israel. Jamaica.
Likewise in India.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a mix of Spanish. Like I would say that there is a lot of there is a Jewish community in Jamaica, and it's mainly because of the expel in Spain, where they were basically running away to everywhere in the world, and they reached to Jamaica as well. So there are Spanish as well, not only Jewish, but obviously also. And the Chinese is a big population in Jamaica. So it's a mixture. And actually, Jamaica's slogan is out of many, one people. It means that we are all different, but in the end of the day,
wow, it's a beautiful slogan. Yeah. Out of many, one people.
Yeah.
That's a smart slogan. I like it. In South Africa, they made a slogan which says South Africans are made up of many, many different racial backgrounds and also many different types of cultural groups. So they call it the Rainbow Nation. So that's another way to describe it. I like it. This is one I haven't heard before.
Yeah.
Okay. And honestly, I could talk to you about this forever. You have a lot of like such an firstly deep knowledge and like a huge passion for the country. I definitely recommend. I'm going to contact you when traveling to Jamaica, and I hope to do so soon. It seems like one of the most beautiful places. Do you want to add off something interesting like? Let's say ways to contact you. What is the best? Through Instagram.
So I would
to check out your services.
Right.
Like really, it sounds super exciting.
So thank you first of all for having me. I would say that I said at the beginning, and I'm saying it now again. It was a great conversation, and as you said, I can talk hours about Jamaica. It's really my passion, and that's why I love to share it. So how do you reach to me? So you can search on Instagram Why Jamaica. It's WHY Jamaica. There is a website. You would see in the bio, there is a link of different links inside my social media. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, a Facebook page. I have a website. My website, by the way, is in English and Hebrew, so you can click on the top button of the languages and translate it if you want to. You can contact me through Instagram if you are interested to just hear a little bit more or just have a conversation, get a
or just feel the love for Jamaica.
Exactly.
Feel the love for the Jamaica. It's amazing. What are your plans? Are you staying in Israel or are you moving back?
So we moved to Israel because I really wanted to be around my family. And my sister I'm coming from a very small family, and my sister just had recently both of my nephews, sorry. So right now I'm in Israel for some time, but I know that I would be back. Once I can afford a villa in Portland,
you're going back? What are the prices of them in Portland?
I would
millions of dollars?
I would say obviously prices is no compared to Israel. Israel it's much more expensive. And buying a villa in Jamaica, I would say maybe $500,000 US. It's not that bad compared to. I'm talking about big villa with pool and
Okay.
So it's not that bad compared to I think prices here in Israel. You can also start from small accommodation, and then.
Is it safe? Is it safe?
Oh yeah, that's something very important that I want to just put a short and a last input. That's the main question that I get about Jamaica. Okay, everyone that contacts me, especially Israelis, they ask me, is it safe to travel over there? So it is safe. And what I would recommend to everyone that's traveling anywhere around the world to know that in any country, you have places that are less safer and more safer. And just like anywhere else, you should be traveling in places that you know, places that people have recommended you, places that you saw online, not the slums, not the ghettos, and then say, oh, how come I feel so intimidated? Because you're not where you're supposed to be, okay? So just like the saying, ברומא תתנהג כמו רומאי, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Follow the social rules that you see everybody is doing. If you're walking in the street and it's a hectic place and whatever, don't walk around with your phone outside and splashing your jewelries and your diamonds everywhere, because you're in a different environment, in a different culture. Jamaica is called a third world country to others, but it is also a developed country. There are people there that are living in, okay? And you don't want to take out the ice. לא להוציא את העיניים לאנשים, ולכן, once you're trying to be down to earth, ולהיות באמת אדם לאדם, and not trying to... Yes, exactly. You would find your way to travel in Jamaica in a safe way. And I would say another thing that a lot of people that do ask me about if Jamaica is safe, Colombia, is one of those places that I think is they have the highest rates of criminals or whatever, stuff like that. So, and those countries are full with Israeli tourists. So just because they're trying to sell Jamaica in a way that is unsafe, so you would stay in the all-inclusive, and you would stay in the attractions, and you won't spend money with locals, and you won't support the real Jamaicans, it doesn't...
So fair, you say.
Yes, it doesn't mean that you really have to believe these stories. Explore. Any country that you're traveling to, explore and read and try to understand where you're coming to, you know? And there is a very protective way where they treat tourists. Tourists are always being safe over there. For example, Montego Bay is a very touristic city. There is not even a day that you won't see police in the streets everywhere. Because they want to maintain the fact that you have a safe environment to travel to. It's their main industry. They're not going to risk to...
Of course, so they make a living.
Exactly.
Of course. All right, so sounds like a beautiful, safe place to travel and a deal. Is it a deal for everybody, single families?
Yes, I do think that, it is every type of traveler has to really build their trip in a different way because you can do so many things in Jamaica. So that's why I definitely recommend to contact me and fly Jamaica and try to really make the best out of your trip.
All right, אז לסכם, אני רוצה להגיד לך תודה רבה נטע. את מדהימה, את חיה את ג'מייקה בכל all your beat, I would say, which is amazing to listen to. I had so much fun. I'm definitely going to contact you myself. I wanted to plan a trip now to Jamaica. It sounds like an awesome, fun place. תודה רבה שהזנתם לנו היום, כדי שיהיה לכם כיף לשמוע קצת על ג'מייקה, וכמובן גם על השירות של נטע, שאחד מהמאזינות שלנו. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much, Ariel, and you're doing an amazing job with this podcast, so it was a pleasure to be.
Thank you so much for coming on, ותודה לכם שהזנתם לנו. כמובן, אנחנו נהיה פה כאן שוב שבוע הבא. תרצו ליצור איתנו קשר, שאלות, נושאים שתרצו שאנחנו נעלה בפודקאסט, אתם יכולים לפנות אלינו באינסטגרם, בפייסבוק, שפות-שלי, או באימייל גם info@שפות-שלי.co.il, או בוואטסאפ גם. גם בוואטסאפ, את פנית אלינו גם בוואטסאפ, 053-550-1976. Have a great day, and see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.